mic for takes a minute to get things warmed up here. Back to the Octo. So quiet in the shop because the microphone was off. There we go. Okay, big quiet stream today. It's another beautiful, beautiful sunny day in the South Side. Today is Friday. Lots of parties scheduled later on, but nothing in the morning, so we have a full stream this morning. And it should be a good day for me today because we've got full staff today and a full schedule of parties. Okay, what is it about? No peel judging here today. How long would this take, you know, if I had nothing else to do? We'd do a few columns a day, I guess. Maybe a week's work or something if I had nothing else to do, if I was a real carver. No idea when it's actually going to be finished in real life. But there's a couple more jobs pressing too. I know yesterday you saw me doing some color separations for the Hanami Cat's print. And that's not finished yet. We sent her a couple of blocks, so she's got something to get going on. But I've not finished all the color separations. They're a bit too complicated for this one. So. And yesterday was 5 parties. I had no chance to do that work. But the other jobs that are coming up, I know we've got another carving job set scheduled. I've got to start preparing the next block for the print party room. We're doing the microwave and it's really very successful, but we need another couple of block sets for that one. For one thing, we've already had people, yesterday we had one print party, they've already done the microwave. They wanted to do something else. So we have to start thinking forward to the future here and get some more block sets ready. And we've got the next 2 designs planned, but I've got to get going and start carving them. what kind of conversation this morning? Is paper out? Yes. Yes, the paper's out. I think so. Was it this morning or was it yesterday? Yes, I took the paper out. It's Suga-san's pack. She's working on the koi print, and it's Rei-chan's pack. She's working on a 10th print from the Portraits #1 series, the print of the Bounty Hunter. Did David ever finish the print of the boys making ink? No, it's still sitting here. It's, excuse me. It's right behind me here. And I've been delaying this one because I had been trying to get the microscope fixed up, because I really, really, really want to do a nice video about the hair carving. And that will be a perfect example to show, but I still haven't got the microscope camera thing worked out. Have we ever had the same person book multiple print parties in the same day? No, I don't think so. Well, we can't really do that because we're sold out. But you mean do it at print parties and want to do it again? We've had that happen sometimes. On a day when it's been a bit quiet or something, we've had the occasion where somebody has really enjoyed it and said, can I do it again? And that's happened. That person has then joined the next print party, or we've done another print party for them on an individual basis. That's happened before. But what's really, really, really common is people who visit Japan and then come back again, and then come back in, say the next year and the next year. And they want to do this event again. And of course, they, for the most part, don't want to do the same print again. And I think the maximum we've had now is 5. There was a young lady yesterday, last week, in Victoria Sound. She was here for the 5th time. And she's brought different friends each time, so she herself has repeated, like she's done the microwave twice. But she wanted her friends to have the experience, so she didn't mind doing it twice for the chance to have her friends enjoy the experience. But we've got to get more block sets, not just for that reason, but for the wear and tear reason. If the same blocks sit on the bench day after day after day after day after day, they really do get worn out a lot more than if they were just used occasionally. So the idea is now we're going to get a couple more block sets ready, and then on the reservation page we will have images of these things, small scale images. And people, when they make the reservation, if they are the first person reserving in a particular time spot, they can choose the image to do. There'll be a pull-down menu of a few different images. And if it's a party for 5 or something, they book 2 of the spots, then the next 3 people who try and reserve that spot can't choose the image because it's been already chosen. But if you're the first person in any given spot, you can select the image to do. So that's the plan, and we'll gradually move towards that over the next few months. At the moment when people reserve, they can't choose the picture to do. And Aoyama-san yesterday, he glued down some wood for me for the next print party image. So actually it's perhaps going to start next week. You'll see me starting the carving on another image to go into our print parties. last night, and after the print parties and stuff, I was actually pretty tired, so I went to bed really early last night. Probably this cough too is grabbing me, so I went to bed early last night, which means I got up early this morning. It was cool. I had an extra hour today with nothing too. I got up early, about 5:30. So I had a quick breakfast and headed over to Sensoji. I had a morning walk, something I used to do all the time here, but haven't done since I've started the streaming. Remember, I used to make videos, took the camera over to Sensoji Temple and stuff like that. So this morning I was over there again. I sat in front of the temple and just relaxed, people walking their dogs. Felt really, really nice. I miss that these days. It's all your fault. Look at this conversation. How many microwaves have been printed so far? I don't know. I know. We'd have to count through the print party reservation counter. I don't know. Going a walk. If I had a smartphone, but I still don't have one of those things. We're doing the streaming from a laptop. I'm sure smartphones, whatever, would have an app that I could stream from, but I don't have one. There are lots of people doing live streaming around here. We see this almost every day. We see people go down the street in front of us with a camera or something and talking while they go and holding the camera. There's lots of people, lots of Asian tourists from Taiwan or whatever, China. Lots of people do live streaming. Well, I can't tell if they're streaming, but lots of people do videoing and talking as they're walking down the street, so it certainly looks like they're streaming. It's a big deal. We see it every day. Okay, let's clean away from the next slide. What I've been doing here, as you can see, I've been rough clearing first around each string of text, and then do the gentle one, or carving of the actual lines of the text. So step one is to get around it and clear away. Today, because it's Friday morning, I'll hear the garbage trucks, and I think around 8:30 or so they come. Notification tone in the background. Smartphone owner confirmed. What are we talking about? I don't actually have a phone. The phone I've got, it's here. I kept it in my pocket this morning. I went for a walk, so I had to make sure I was back in time. Here's my high-tech to show. I keep it so I can tell what time it is. Hachiji, need you me from this. Actually, we're coming to the end of these. We have 3 of these. One for me, one for our staff scheduler, and one for Cameron. And we get a plan where we can talk to each other for free and stuff like that. But we've got a notification from our provider. It's, what's it called? Wilcom. They're Yahoo here in Japan. That the service is being discontinued. And I think that's next, it might be this coming autumn or next spring. This kind of telephone is being taken out of service. It's called PHS, Personal Handy System, or something like that. And they're gone, they're done. They're on their last legs. So we've given notice, they've given us notice. Sometime by the fall we have to decide what to do with some other kinds of phones. I just don't want a smartphone. You know, it's that thing in your pocket that you keep looking at. I'm not trying to be a Luddite, but I don't want to do that. So. spot here. Careful not to break the blade. Oh, look at this, walls of text, walls of text. Mexico City. Went to the Adachi shop, bought a few prints, including Great Wave. Do you have an opinion on their prints? He. Gotta be careful what I say. I know. Actually, it's easy. It's a mixed story. Adachi used to be the gold standard. Absolutely. Excuse me. When they started in Taisho, the guy who started it, Adachi Toyohisa, he's long dead. He had the idea, he wanted to make fabulous stuff, and he did. He had a good vision of what could be made, and he held his craftsmen to high standards. They did nice projects. It was the gold standard. These days, it's a different story. There are still some interesting, attractive, and well-made prints being produced in the Adachi workshop, but there's also a lot of very careless, clumsy work being produced. It's just up and down. So if you have an Adachi print, I'm not sure what to tell you. It could be either way. It could be something magnificent, it could be an average type reproduction, or it could be something, oh my God, how could they fall so low? I don't know what you've got. Their biggest problem right now, and it's a huge problem for them, is they didn't manage their production staff well during the last 20, 30, 40 years. The guy who's running it, and maybe the whole mood of the whole community, was that woodblock painmaking was on its last legs and it was going to be dead. So they didn't make any kind of a structure in place to keep it going for the future. So for the last 40 years, there's been no steady hiring of craftsmen and training. Adachi runs what they call the Kenkyu shop. They just started 2 new people this month, because things started in April here in Japan. The last 2 previous people left in March, and they got 2 newies. And they get money from the government to do it for a 2-year or 3-year. 2-year program. I think each person gets money from the government for 2 years. So Adachi gets money from the government, pays the kids, trains for 2 years, out they go, the next 2 kids come in. I can't believe why they've done it this way, but they've been doing it for nearly 30 years. So they hollowed out, and they're now in a situation where I just heard now, Nakata-san, their top guy, he is now no longer there. He retired full-time, he's fully retired as of the end of last year. So they have no craftsmen in their 70s, no craftsmen in their 60s, none in their 50s, and none in their 40s. One guy, Kyoso-san, top printer, is in his 30s, and there's 2 young people, Numabe-kun, the son of Numabe-san, and one of the young girls. So there's 3 printers there now, plus the trainees. It's totally hollowed out. They've got no core body of craftsmen. And they're making the same stuff again and again. The Adachi supplies the prints for the museums around town, the Sumida Museum, the museum in the Winter Park and stuff like that. Adachi makes the prints for the gift shops there. And they seem to have the idea that because the tourists don't know what they're getting, they just make crap. I myself had the experience a few years ago. I went to a Hokusai exhibition at the Tokyo National Museum. Sadako and I went to see, we've told this story on the stream before. I went to the sales shop at the end of the museum. I had no intention of buying anything after. I just want to see what the stuff looks like. And on the walls of the sales shop at the end of the museum are 36 views of Mount Fuji by Hokusai, and it's beautiful. I thought, my God, Adachi can still do it. They were so well made. I was stunned by how well made they were. So I go to the sales counter and ask the girl, can I see one set, please? And my girlfriend, she's like, what are you talking about? It's $5,000. What are you doing? I said, just relax. I want to see these things. And the girl with the white gloves, she brought out the set before and maybe wants to buy it. I open it up, and it is absolute crap. It's gomazuri, it's misregistered, it's just an embarrassment. So they were displaying a beautiful copy and selling shit. So what's Adachi all about? They used to be fabulous, they used to be top quality, they were the gold standard, and now the name by itself means nothing anymore. They can do good work. Some of the people working there are really cool, good craftsmen who can work well. But the vision of the shop as a whole is gone. It's just an embarrassment. You get in trouble for this or saying it, I don't know, I don't care, it doesn't matter. bunch of the people working for us came out of there. Suga-san, who works upstairs, she did her basic training at Adachi. Kanai-san, working for us at home from her home in Nagano. She worked for Adachi for 2 or 3 years. Kubota-san, our main outside carving printer. And Yamamoto-san, the guy who's doing all of our gray waves these days, they trained at Adachi. So I'm being a bit hypocritical by bad-mouthing Adachi, but using their workers. What can I say? Where they're going from here, I don't know. The guy running it is in his 80s. He's 83 or 84, Isamu-san. And there's a steady stream of government money pouring in there to do the thing. No idea. What year did I visit Adachi? I don't know. It's in the story there. What did I tell you? I showed you the diaries. I don't know. 1981 and then 1983 would be the 2 visits I talked about in those 2 diary things. I don't know exactly. January 1981 and January 1983, or February, or the December of 1980. I don't remember exactly. If the Japanese government offered you steady money, would you take it? We have no interest in taking any government money at all. Period. Zero. I haven't bothered to put it up here, but if it was worth it to take my time, I'd put this business has not 1 yen of government money, was whatever. I don't want that stuff. I don't believe that should be done. I don't think the government should be taking people's tax money and using it to subsidize somebody's hobby. You know, if I took money from them for this, what does it come down to? If this is a viable business, if we make something and if the market out there, people like it and decide to exchange money for it, then we're up and running. We're honest business. If it doesn't work like that, if there's no way that people are willing to buy the stuff we make, then the business should just naturally disappear. For the idea for the government or some other entity to come in and say, I don't want this to disappear, here's money, take it. It's a bit unnatural and a bit dishonest. So I'm not a libertarian or anything, nothing like that. But I don't think that the government is here to build infrastructure, to do education, to do national defense, to run the police department, stuff like that. That's what governments are for. They're not here to muck around with things like woodblock printmaking. Yeah, I should get back to work. I'm sorry. If you guys are just poking me to make fun, is that the idea? Have I become an object of derision at this point? Yeah. I guess that's the case, you know. I get old enough, they know what I think about different things. So somebody pokes me to hear the standard answer. It's a classic example of some old dude sitting in a rocking chair. Let's hear what Granddad says. Let's start him off on a soapbox. It's pride, you know. Damn it, we've done this. We build neat stuff and people like it. It's pride. It's funny speaking about Adachi prints, because on some auctions a couple of nights ago, somebody had got a whole bunch of old, and I mean old, Adachi collections. And usually when we see those, it's a bit trouble because Adachi during the 60s and 70s didn't package their prints well. They used very poor quality paper for packaging their prints. So we very, very frequently find them foxed and molded. And this particular person had found a whole bunch of Adachi sets, maybe more than 12 different Adachi sets from that era. And they seem, at least in the auction photographs, they seem to have been preserved quite well. And it wasn't just me that was chasing them. These are really nice collector's items, beautiful quality Adachi prints from the old days in a good state of preservation. So these were not going to go cheap, and I knew they weren't going to go cheap. So I set aside a budget for it. They were about 12 sets, and there's no way I could get them. I got 3 of them. I just have to put my hands up in the air. I can't do it. I couldn't spend, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But I got 3 of the sets. And one of them I already have here. Is that the garbage bin going by? And one of the sets I already have here, they did a set of Hokusai's famous designs, part 1 and part 2. I think there was, I think there was 16 prints in part 2 and 15 in part 1. I can't remember exactly what it was. Anyway, we have the set in our collection already, and they came up again in this auction 2 nights ago. And they became expensive. Well, one of them I got. I just kept bidding because I really would like to get these in our shop. So. And that might be delivered this morning. So we'll see when Cameron gets here. If the delivery guy comes this morning, while Cameron here, we could maybe do a quick show and tell. If. And then also, Adachi did a set of the famous Hokusai waterfalls. They reproduced those back in, I think it was the 60s. And that was in the same auction 2 nights ago, and I got that one as well. I swallowed hard and bid and got it. And I can't be putting them in the shop. I can't because we pay too much. That's the thing about these auctions, if I get prints, if I want to sell them at a fair price, then we have to buy them at, a wholesale type price, a much cheaper price. But the problem is I'm competing in the auction sometimes with people who are buying for themselves, who are buying, who will pay the value for it. And that's what happened in this auction 2 nights ago. The prices went up, and it wasn't dealers competing with each other. It was consumers competing with each other. So I'm out of the game. I can bid as a consumer to buy the print set for myself. But I can't possibly buy it to sell in our shop when I'm competing at a retail level. So the stuff we buy in the wholesale auctions, the dealer auctions, we can get away with that because the dealers will never bid more than a wholesale price because they have to sell it at a retail price. But the auction 2 nights ago was a Yahoo auction in public, so I'm competing at a retail level. It's always a real handicap. Anyway, we got one of these nice Adachi sets that we already have. And we'll see. We'll try and balance the price I paid, look at the condition, see what they are, and see if we can squeeze them into the shop somehow. And as I said, they'll be delivered this morning. I don't know what time. Perhaps while the stream is on, perhaps not. Yeah, the Hokusai waterfall set. It wasn't just a waterfall set. It was, I think it was 18 prints in the package. It was 2 Adachi sets. One was the 8 waterfall set, and one was the, what's the title? I forget. Chio no Umi. It's a mix of Hokusai prints related to, what's the main theme of this set? I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, that's coming this morning. There's the waterfall set, the Chio no Umi set, and one of the Hokusai famous pictures set. The waterfalls are staying here because I don't have that set yet, so don't get excited about that. They're staying here. Okay, that's the rough work on the outside. Now let's get to work carefully trimming this. And I think I can do with a bit of oil here. It's still a bit faint. I'm not going to oil the whole thing because just oil the few first characters. I don't think I can see them. And I think I'm zoomed in about as max as I can go here without losing focus. You see the difference? Here we are. There's no oil here. It's the faint gray of the paper. And here, there's oil on these two characters. And they just turn sharp black. There's totally no trace of the Gampi paper. This is absolute perfection for Hansta, for tracing. Absolute perfection. Just black on the wood. What's the theme of Chiyo no Umi? What's the theme between all the prints? I haven't actually got that set myself. I've seen it in passing over the years. And we've got some individual reproductions from this set. But what's the theme from it? Here's Dave the expert asking the stream. Did you hear Suga-san go up the stairs behind me? I just heard the upstairs door sliding open. I guess she must have gone up the stairs very quietly. Or drowned out by the garbage truck or something. Talking about the Adachi thing, Suga-san works here now very happily, and we sometimes ask her questions about what was it like working in Adachi and stuff like this, and she won't talk about it. She's a really, really nice girl. She doesn't want to make trouble, and she won't talk about it. She speaks well of Kubota-san, who was the printer who was working there. He was her mentor there. She speaks totally highly of him. She can't say enough. To her, he's just a combination of father and grandfather and God. She's just so good and so kind and so helpful to her. But she won't speak well of the workshop, but she speaks really well of the people, the other craftsmen who are working there. And that's one thing she regrets about this place, in that we don't have people like Kubota-san working here. We don't have this stable of experienced men who just sit here working, bang, 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 which the rest of us could learn from. And hopefully at some point in the future, the Moko Hankan here will be in that situation. And Suga-san herself, she will be the kind mentor who is helping the younger workers. We've told her about this. That's you one day. That's going to be your situation. And she's like, no, I don't want to be in that situation. I want to be the person learning from the nice old guys. She doesn't want to be the old guy in the corner, the old person in the corner. But we're just laughing about this because she, of course, understands that that's where it's going down the line. But she regrets, and I regret, and we all regret, that we don't have really experienced men here to help pass on what they're doing. Kubota-san, the guy we're talking about, he just will not come and work here. He works at home, And my God, we've told him we'll prepare a throne for him. We'll pay all his expenses. We'll do anything. Just please come and work here. Just do 1 day a week. Do anything. Come here so that we can sit and watch and learn from you. But he won't do it. He's been there, he's done that. He spent his whole working life doing that. He just wants to control his own time, his own mood. Also, too, he's a heavy smoker. He knows that we wouldn't abide that in the workshop. And he smokes all day long, non-stop. And he watches TV all day long, non-stop. And he knows that behavior wouldn't be acceptable. Here he is. Good morning, Sarah.
How are you?
Quiet morning today, Anna.
Finally.
What do you mean?
We've had so many morning good parties.
Oh, no, there's no party this morning. No.
Yeah.
We're good for the parties. There's 3 parties, and there's full staff. It's Teiko-san, Shiba-san, and Kawai-san.
Nice.
The 3 top veterans, and only 3 parties.
Oh.
I think.
You might not have to do a party.
I may not have to do a party, so it's okay. Which is fine, because I shouldn't be in front of people with this voice anyway. You know? The parties I did yesterday, and I did it with a mask on.
Yeah.
I think there's various chit-chat going on here. I'm not catching. I caught a few of the questions, but it's more than I've caught about. And they were poking me. I think Jed was there. They poked me with a couple of the standard questions. They know what I'm going to say, but they still poke me. And
Have you ever gotten splinters? No.
Well, not yet. It's coming.
Okay.
Do you take government money, or what do you think of it? Or what do you think of Adachi? Stuff like this. Whatever. So the stock questions, they know what my reaction is going to be. I think Jed said that. He said, "I just wanted to hear you talk." Something like this. I think I was too quiet, so they said, "How can we wake this up? Ask Dave one of those questions."
Got it.
So,
Speaking of which, someone sent an email mentioning something about Adachi. Am I allowed to bring that up? No, Adachi's. Do they take any non-Japanese apprentices or anything? It sounded like they'd heard of something about that and asked me because we speak English and they don't. And I said,
no idea.
Well, even if they do in Japanese, it won't help you that much.
So I don't think they don't speak English there. I don't have any knowledge of a foreigner who has worked there.
Okay.
No such thing.
Yeah, because even you dropped in, like, in the early days, wasn't that Adachi?
Yes, but there was no discussion of can I work here. That wasn't even remotely on the table.
Got it. It was, I want to see what you're doing and then do it yourself, kind of.
For me, yes.
Yeah,
yes, there was and they don't take apprentices. They have the program from the culture ministry where they take Kenshusha. And I think it's a 2-year program, might be 3-year program. I'm not sure. And they just finished. The last 2 that were there just left in March. Either they left of their own volition, or because the government money ran out, and I said, "Sorry, out you go, ready for next one." And 2 new ones started in April.
Oh, okay.
I don't know their names
so
yet.
Just 2 weeks
with government money. So
okay.
Anyway, don't get me started again.
No, I was just curious about if you'd heard anything of.
I don't know.
No
idea.
No idea. Okay. I didn't think so.
People write to us for apprentices, and we say, "No, write to Adachi."
Yep.
If you write in English, it's just going to get thrown away. But if you're serious, you're going to need to learn Japanese anyway.
Yeah.
Get someone to help with the Japanese letter and write to them. I've got no idea what happened.
Yeah.
I know I sort of badmouthed them a while ago, but there is a ton of knowledge in that building. You know,
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it.
Cool. Vivid KP says, "Good morning, Kevin."
Vivid KP, who's that? Who's that?
Our
Good morning.
friends, yeah.
So you're back home now?
Yep.
She must be back home. She joined in yesterday from the Airport Express on the way to Narita. So the Wi-Fi was crappy and whatever.
Yeah.
So she's home, back in Texas.
23 and a half hours of traveling to get back home.
Why that much?
Maybe he doesn't live close to an airport. So
it took one of those bargain flights that goes from here to Seoul to Beijing and then back to America. No, that's the thing, you know. That's the thing.
So
Beijing. Jeff, Karen's here. News, Karen's on my desk. She's here, right?
Yep.
Sitting on my desk. You left a print here. It's sitting beside my desk here. We're talking about sending you some paper for it. Already 2 people have asked me, where can I get this? How much is it? Can I buy it? Just because we left it sitting on my desk.
It is a very cool print. I think some of you have seen this already, but some may be new to the stream. Fireflies in the forest. Do you have a title for this one?
So far, 2 requests to buy it.
Wow. So cool. Ooh, awesome! 2 planes, 2 trains, and 1 van, she said, for traveling home. No title yet. Okay. Jed said, "Oh, that's my first time seeing it. It's lovely. Let's call it Hotaru no Haka, the saddest Studio Ghibli movie ever."
I haven't seen it. Heard about it, nothing. It's not my taste.
Yeah. I don't think any movie's your taste. You don't really watch any movies, do you?
I enjoyed, with my kids, I enjoyed Tomari no Totoro.
Oh, okay.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's good. It's a fun one. Did I see the Jed Henry message higher up? Let me see. This one. Dave, what if we discussed ideas for next year's subscription series with the crew here? We've done that a couple times, yeah.
Sure, on game. Yeah.
Talked about making a game. Or
It's okay. No, of course, go for it.
Yeah.
Somewhere around June, we really sort of have to get things not finalized, but we have to start having some serious, down to the last 2 or 3 serious choices somewhere around June. So I'm open to any suggestions.
building a game. I know I've heard you suggest continuing this series with more scenes. I don't know if that was a
Well, the
serious
background here is that, of
suggestion,
course, we're sold out of this year's series.
Yeah.
Jed and I did it being prepared to take a bath on this. I myself, I don't mean, not because I wasn't confident in Jed's designs, I wasn't confident that people would want such a series after we've made our reputation as games.
Yeah.
So I was prepared to take a bath this year. We knew we had the Asakusa shop running well to support our business. So if subscriptions didn't go well for 2019, it's okay. Let's make something that we want to make.
Yeah.
Let's train ourselves at trying to learn how to do Shinhanga.
And everyone's learned lots of new skills doing
And
it.
still, we're learning. It's very much an ongoing process.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, I was prepared to take a financial bath on it for the benefit of learning, doing that. And it's turned out we're getting both. We're getting
Instead of a bath,
learning
you're swimming.
and swimming. Yes, drowning. That's the background. So this year's series is stunningly, staggeringly successful. Yeah. We have about 200 subscribers at the moment. A waiting list of approaching 100, I guess, Cameron? I don't know.
It's growing and growing.
So any discussion of next year's series has to take this into account.
We're also going to be still printing this one, I think.
Well, no, that's going to be happening anyway.
Yeah.
We're still printing portraits, we're still printing chibis, it just goes into that. But my point is, do we think about running back to games? Do we continue
build
with
on the concepts you're doing
build
now?
On this, or do we try something else brand new?
Yeah.
So that's part of any discussion about next year's subscription series has to keep these things in mind.
Yep, Jed mentions we could use that. We could use famous tourist sites around Japan, make a game out of it, like the players are tourists wandering around the country, using that Meiji era game you showed us as a base, and that's something we talked about briefly before.
I'm very much interested. At the moment, my thinking is I would prefer to go that way.
Yeah.
I'm open to suggestion, and nothing's decided, but David's personal leanings would be more landscapes, like we've done. Perhaps not so much landscapes. We've got an awful lot of mountains and green, and those are difficult to do in an interesting way.
Yeah.
So I would like to go around Japan, but not so much mountains and greenery, which means structures and places.
Yeah. What about modern places?
Speak up.
The Rainbow Bridge, or
Speak up, because I've talked about this all the time. The Shinhanga prints are so beautiful, but they're exotic.
exotifying Japan.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to make this place exotified.
Yeah.
It's entrancing as it is right now here on the ground. Let's get the beauty of the Shinhanga prints from the 20s and 30s and 40s, but with the real Tokyo that's right here on the ground right now. That's the challenge.
Yeah. For 2020, a series of really wonky Sosaku Hanga prints that require 30 blocks each. I bet you could guess who suggested this.
But there are no such things as Sosaku Hanga prints that require 30 blocks each. Because the Sosaku Hanga people don't have technique.
The time to put together 30 blocks. This is John Becker. Making trouble. Says if a 12-piece board game concept could be fleshed out to be a fun game with wonderful graphics, it could be more popular than this year's series.
Okay, shut that idea down then.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of board game, are there people who here know what we're talking about?
Oh,
I don't
good
know, are there or
question.
not? I mean, we're talking about the game
Anyone
idea.
who's not seen this
Because
game.
it's there. If you wanted to
Okay.
put the camera and hold it up or something,
Yeah.
you could give it a touch. But also, we were talking before you came, Cameron.
Yeah.
There's the auction stuff I got on 3 nights ago. Is supposed to be delivered today.
All right.
I teased that we might have a show until if the guy delivers it and if
In
it's
time,
openable.
yeah.
There's one in the package. There's one thing I would like to show the Hokusai Waterfall series.
All right.
So if he comes early, we can look at it. But if he
Okay.
doesn't, then we'll just leave it aside. And tomorrow on the stream, we will show
Okay.
Hokusai's Waterfalls. What day is it today?
It's Friday.
Oh, it's Friday, so you won't be here.
I won't be here
Okay,
tomorrow.
I'm a big boy. I can do it by myself.
Yeah, I think so.
And just that background was there. They're going to start talking about
Okay,
it. And
cool.
if the Tucky Big guy shows up, they're going
Got
to
it.
start going nuts. So yeah, whatever. Show the game for the people that don't know what we're talking about here.
Jed says, Studio Ghibli has brainwashed me to think of the whole country as magical. Oh, exactly.
Well, there's an idea that Studio Ghibli was just picking up what they saw. They didn't create Japan.
Yeah.
He went out into the countryside. He grew up out there. He showed us what he saw and felt.
Yeah.
He didn't invent this thing. I don't say that in any negative sense. He showed us what's out there.
Yeah.
You yourself, you've lived out there. You've
Yep.
gone to a tiny little backwater shrine in
Yep.
some dark road in Niigata. And
Yep, and I loved it. Here is the game. Better lay this on the ground and turn the camera. I don't know how much
Well, I don't think so. I
you
think
want
just
to-
don't know. If we just
Here,
hold it up,
this
bring it
one
back a bit
has-
farther.
Okay.
Are we into
This one
that?
does have 12 pieces as well. So this is like we're talking about.
Yeah. So what it was, it's a set of 12 prints that were published. Let me make that window bigger. Hang on a second.
Oh yeah.
I can do this without knocking this thing off the table. Okay, here we go.
Nice.
It's a set of 12 prints published in the Meiji era, and they would have been published as
Nice.
12 single sheets of paper. The person who bought them stuck them on a backboard because the prints were published with two things in mind: to enjoy as woodblock prints. It's a sort of a series that shows the training and upbringing of a young girl in a very high-class family. But the publisher that made them also added an extra feature. On each of the woodblock prints, he put in separate stamping, this is not carved and printed in the woodblocks, in separate stamping, some instructions. Number 2, go here. Number 3, go here. I'm randomizing this. Number 4, go here. And each of the prints has its own choice of 3. If you get 3 numbers between 1 and 6, you jump to a specific place. This last one here doesn't have those. It has agari. You are the winner. This is the goal. This one here is the start, and this one has 6 numbers. If you get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6,
So it's
if
rolling,
you roll,
yeah.
you're rolling a dice, and everybody starts here, and you take turns. I'll be up there. Everybody starts here, and if you roll a 1, you go. I can't see it. You go here. If you roll 2, you go here. Go here. And people take turns rolling.
Yeah.
And you jump around the map. And to get here, on this one it says if you roll a 1, jump over here. And there might be another one somewhere that says if you roll a 6 or something, go up here. I can't see it, maybe up here.
It's a 3 from this.
So you can get to about 3. So but there's only a few. So that the way to get out is really a tricky path.
Yeah.
Get a 3, then a 1, then a 4, and then a 5, and then a here, and then a 3, and you're out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible. Statistically, it's not going to happen. So this game takes hours and hours and hours to play. And it doesn't matter. You're drinking tea and you're,
Chatting
eating
with
bento and
friends.
chatting with friends, and it's on the floor in the middle of you, and you're just having fun,
Yeah.
rolling this dice. And eventually, somebody maybe gets to, So just before we roll out, the point being, I'll hold this going. So the point being, you can have something that is a set of 12 prints, but there's no game aspect to the designs, but the prints also, one by one, when the series is finished, they can be assembled in a form that gives you a game to play. So this is one idea on the table for next year's set. It's just a set of prints, the same as any of our other sets of prints, but it has this extra factor that it can be used as a game also.
Hi.
So that was the idea that we're talking about. Cameron's just taking a phone call here. There's somebody's asking about reservation, party reservation. So he'll deal with that. He'll be back in a minute. Let me get back to my card.
はい、今、いつ予約されたんでしょうか。
Do you need my knowledge, Cameron? Is it okay?
Maybe so. She made the print party, made the reservation in March, and I'm not seeing any Japanese names written on the date she's asking about.
Excuse me, I might have to help with this.
Yeah, sorry.
What's the name? What are we looking for?
すいません、お名前もう一度お願いします。村、OK、村瀬。あ、はい。じゃあ、13時ですね。はい、わかりました。はい、予約は確認しておりますので、はい。はい。わかりました。はい、よろしくお願いします。はい、失礼します。Sorry, it's hard to read the handwriting.
Okay.
Murase is the name.
Mine, to show? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It looks like a Western name.
Is it for when? For today or for tomorrow or something?
1 week from tomorrow.
Okay,
She just
no.
wanted to make sure that it
Yeah.
was written in. She must have not received the automatic confirmation email.
I am replying these days every 3 days before. Actually, I do it every second day. So I do 2 or 3 or 4 days before. People do get the.
Great.
For everybody, I have an email address for. Some of them are staff email
Yeah.
address. You know. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see what they said. I'm going to jump back and try to catch up on questions and thoughts that you all put in, so hold on for a minute. Someone said, what about different locations around the world, not just Japan? Eiffel Tower, Pyramid, Statue of Liberty. That's maybe a little too broad. People might feel left out, or I don't know.
I think that's right. My first impression is that weekends are brand, can I say?
Yeah.
I think that's a job for some of the people who have learned here and are trained here. People like Karen, people
Yeah.
who have learned something here.
Yeah.
If she wants to make Prince of Austin, Texas, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, I don't think it's our position.
Jed says, what if we did various Japanese festivals, local matsuri, and turn that into a game?
This is interesting. That's a very, very big one because festivals are visually hugely complex.
Yeah. That's,
You know.
and there are lots of varieties. Some
Yes,
with
it's a huge thing.
lanterns, some
It's a
with
fabulous thing. My own personal, my own future projects that I'm still sort of hoping on one and some festival prints.
Someone asked about that. Whatever happened to Dave's idea of a festival series? You're busy.
I'm busy, so.
Still finishing up another series, too.
But the festival is as a winner. It's an all-around winner, but it is staggeringly complex because they are so visually complex.
Indeed.
I wouldn't do that one yet. I don't think we're ready for that yet.
Well, if you need someone to go around to different festivals all around Japan and take reference photos, just let me know.
I don't think we're ready for that yet. Because it's so difficult,
Yeah.
But my God, what a winner it could be.
That would be beautiful.
Nighttime shots, daytime shots, water, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for us now, the future is just full of such infinite possibilities.
Yeah. Keep on going.
So this question about next year's series, it's got to be something that works as an extension / evolution of where we are right now. It's not just a random choice. What would be good to do? Wow, let's do festivals.
Yeah.
It has to be something that we can
Builds on what you've
Yes, that we can move towards what we're doing right now. So this is not an easy choice. It's not a random choice.
Ken Hallett said, Jed, think of the con sales of a Japanese woodblock print game series. Imagine the possibilities. And Jed says, it wouldn't sell. People just want their fandoms. I'd waste my breath explaining it to people hundreds of times. Their eyes would just glaze over and they'd say, but do you have Halo? so sad.
I disagree there. I've never been to a convention. I don't understand it. But board. I mean, look at board games on Kickstarter. I mean, it's a
They
thing.
always
It's
blow
a
up,
thing. It's a
yeah.
thing. So you don't have to explain it to everybody. All you have to do is we're making the woodblock print set, and he can do a Jickley version. I mean, we're sold out, so it doesn't matter. Jeff can do a Jickley version as well.
Yeah.
And I think it would fly.
Yeah.
I think it could be a big thing. So I don't think he should blow that idea away in such a quick and easy fashion.
Ooh, with this in mind, even this year's series could be fashioned into some sort of board game.
Because look, it's not incorporated into the imagery, although that is something that could be done.
Yeah.
That one I just showed, they were just stamped on the edge.
You're right.
The prints could have been sold without reference to the game at all. But if you want to dig a bit deeper, the where to go, what to do could be incorporated
On the sign in front of a restaurant or something.
Exactly.
Built
That's
into the
level
image.
one of it, you know. Because that history is there in Japanese prints as well. The one they called Egoyomi, remember back in Harunoma's era? Publishing calendars was a government monopoly.
Okay.
If you wanted to publish next year's calendar, you needed to get the permission from the government and pay up or whatever.
Yeah.
So it became a habit for other publishers to publish the calendars. And the word calendar, it was a picture.
Yeah.
And hidden in the picture were the keys to what next year's calendar was. Because what they did was, the calendar was made up of long months, short months, long months, short months. Like we have 31 and 30.
Yeah.
Now suppose they were variable each year. They're always set. January always has 31?
31, yes.
But we never changed. But back then, their structure of the calendar was variable.
Okay.
There was short months and long months, and then there was intercalary days to fix up to make it fit the sun going around.
Yeah.
So every year, the mystics and the scientists or whatever, the people who were doing it, made the schedule for next year's calendar. And it was decided and published.
Yeah.
And it would be like 1 long, 2 long, 3 short, 4 long, 5 short. This was so.
Yeah.
So people could then work it out and know what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And this could be hidden. And you'd get Harunobu doing a design, and the publisher would hide a pattern that had 1, 4, 7, 8 on the left side and 2, 3, 6, 9. And these were the long ones, and that was the short ones. So people, I'm not making this up.
No,
Look it up.
I
It's
don't
called
think-
Egoyomi. And I'm not making it
Egoyomi.
up.
That is great.
And they decided they went round having to pay the fees
Yeah.
or having the official permission for doing calendars. And they were hidden in the designs. And you'll see them all the time. We've got prints in the shop where that stuff's hidden in there.
That's so cool. No way am I putting my prints down on the table and letting people roll dice and spill wine on it. Yeah.
Well, of course, but once you've got them, make some photocopies. Or just, we've got our website, download. We'll do it. Subscribers get a link to a PDF downloadable, printable with your inkjet printer, of course, you know.
Yeah.
That's an easy solution. There's nothing there. But that Meiji one we've got, that went on the floor.
Yeah.
So, no color copies in those days.
Yeah. Maybe the game could involve all the ways you get around in Japan. Subways, trains, buses, bullet trains, boats. That's interesting.
Well, that's an interesting sort of sub-theme there. Suppose, and to take that and run with it a little bit, we were doing the idea that came up. There was locations. It was, Nihon Meisho, the shrine at Miyajima and Mount Fuji, and then something here and something there.
Yeah.
Famous locations. And the nominal content of the picture was the place. But there, one has a bus, one has a train, one has a bicycle, and like the subtext of each one is a different transportation.
Yeah. I would just laminate your wood block prints. Thanks. Not the best idea. Iron Octothorpe asks Jed, have you played Tokaido from Passport Game Studios? I have. We have a copy of that. It's a really fun game. It's about the Tokaido.
We're talking about a board game or computer game?
It's a board game, and it doesn't list the actual specific locations along the trip between Edo and
The 53
Kyoto.
then,
Right. But it has kind of a simplified version of it with different types of spots you can land on. Some have onsen, some have shops and things, even though pretty much every stop would have all of these things.
And this is a Western thing or a Japanese
Yeah,
thing?
it's a Western game, but I think there is a Japanese translation of it. It was first made by Westerners, but it's kind of popular in the board game world. It's kind of cool.
And what, like you land on a spot, take the card and do the
Yeah.
instructions and whatever.
Lots of different rules. It'd be hard to explain without pulling it out. But for Asakusa, I use the Jinrikisha. There's so many of those running around all the time.
I mean, there's enough local interest out here. We could do a set of 12 prints about just about Asakusa.
About this street alone.
Yeah.
Asakusa. Jed says, should we find a game designer to make this more complex than the simple game of chance?
Well, I think that would be a sort of an alternate project.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kickstarter, woodblock printed board game. That would be a big project.
It's an idea, though.
It is an idea.
It's an idea. Yeah. There's one thing I was curious about the Kickstarter community. You know, I haven't hung around Kickstarter a lot in the last couple of years since we've done our own projects. But one thing made me curious about that. There would be a group, whatever, they'd put up a Kickstarter for a board game.
Yeah.
And it would fly and maybe really successful, sell 10,000 copies, whatever they do it. And then a year or so later, the same group comes back with, here's our board game for this year.
Yeah.
And this sort of goes on and on and on. The same people are back every year to Kickstarter with their board game. I was curious, wait a minute, Kickstarter is for kickstarting. You know, you get your business set up on this.
Yeah.
And the idea about going back to Kickstarter every year, why did you fail last year? You can try again. Because in my mind, Kickstarter is for sort of how we did
Getting
it.
started.
We got started, and now we're up on our own. And, you know, we don't need Kickstarter. We didn't start this year's subscription series with Kickstarter. We
Yeah.
should be on our own. So I've been sort of thinking that's how Kickstarter should work. Get started. Thanks, guys, for all the fish, and away we go. And now you're up and established. You know. But people seem to use it as a sales thing because there's a community there.
Right.
You bought it last year, come and buy it again this year. It just becomes a store.
Yeah.
It's the Kickstarter store. You know, I don't want to sort of use it that way, abuse it that way. We've been there 3 times now altogether, and I think each time there was a specific, is it going to fly? Can we do that?
Yeah.
The Asakusa shop starts.
Yeah.
And a little bit we may be abused with the system by going back for our Ukiyo-e Heroes reboot when we did the boss fights thing. It didn't theoretically need the investment because we could have invested in it on our own.
Right.
So I get it. We've done that a little bit ourselves. But when you say this board game thing, here we go. We're going to come and feed at that trough, the Kickstarter board game trough. Let's put our snouts in there and feed.
Jed says, Dave soapboxes again. It's just a sales platform.
But it's not. The first Kickstarter we did, it's a bit mixed because this is 7 years ago, the show.
Yeah.
By the time we started the campaign, we knew Jed's designs were popular.
Yeah.
So in that sense, if he had just been doing inkjet prints, Kickstarter was irrelevant. It really helped promote, but it wasn't necessary for, can we make this happen?
Yeah.
Because to make inkjet prints needs no financing in advance. But whether people were going to be willing to shell out for woodblock prints, that was a hugely open question.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no ethical problem with what we did there. We had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah.
As far as the woodblock prints goes, and we were stunned on the first day.
Yeah.
So many people ordered the woodblock version.
Right.
Oh my God. So yeah, I got no problem with that.
Yeah. Sounds like the platform, though, has evolved.
I'm not in
Over the
touch with
years.
that now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be spouting off too much because I have no current. I don't know what the current mood is. I don't know. So.
Mikey Zone says, for a lot of artists, Kickstarter is an easy way to self-publish and guarantee a certain number of sales for books. So.
Well, guarantee in quotes meaning if it goes, if your project is successful, then yeah. So.
But it sounds like much of the time they know it's going to happen. They're just using it as a pre-order platform.
I saw in one of my news feeds yesterday, Kodansha, the giant, massive Japanese publishing
Right.
house, is using Kickstarter to promote some kind of manga project to help support young artists. And it's Kodansha.
They've been around forever.
You know. So that's, I don't get that. But, whatever works.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Did anyone already mention doing Dave's rendition of a Jumanji set to make it testimony?
What's your plan today, sir, for your Friday wrap up for your week?
Good idea. Very good question.
With Kyrgyzstan, we didn't get much done on that.
Right, with all the other
Everything else
things
got in the way, I
tackled.
don't know. I was thinking to work a little bit on that today, get InDesign out.
Yeah.
Because she can't jump ahead and clearly do that part of it.
So if you need some scans of that,
I think
some of the
she already
prints.
did a bunch of that song. So
That's
I think,
true.
Yes. If truly the parties get going without me this morning, it should be okay.
You can hide upstairs.
Like, you know, I can work on that, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. Be good. For me, I'm going to, what was it? I took pictures of the new box with a horizontal print and a portraits print in it, so that we can update our website with the new box images.
Do we need to bring it over here and show these people what's going on? I don't know. If anybody knows about it, we probably didn't really talk much about it, I think.
Yeah. I don't think we've made any sort of announcement. It's just been kind of a sudden change.
This year's series, we piggybacked on our previous portraits sets in terms of paper size and structure and getting blocks ready and stuff like that. But the portraits were all portraits, so they were all literally portrait orientation.
Yeah.
But because this year's series is landscapes, it became sensible that a certain number of them would be horizontal in format. But the box we had was designed to only allow portraits.
Yeah. Ohio gozaimasu.
Kai-san, good morning.
So the box we had only had the slot cut across this way, so that the images would fit in like this. And if we did a horizontal one, then they would stick out the edge, trying to show it. But with this year's series, like you're saying.
But we've changed our boxes. We don't have any more portraits orientation boxes. We've switched all of our box production to the new style that works both ways. So even people who order portraits prints get this new box because it works both ways.
That way. Or landscape oriented without sticking out the sides.
Somebody, I think, semi-complained or asked the other day about the fact that the things, they slip open a little bit at the top. And
at the top. They do.
They don't pinch totally close because we don't want that thing pinched under pressure. You know,
Yeah.
So that person saw that as a defect. So you should, when you're taking pictures, maybe make sure that that's visible in the pictures.
So I took some closer so they can see that it pokes out. But even from afar, you can tell the glass is a little bit separated.
Acrylic.
Yeah. Or yeah, sorry. It's acrylic. Not glass.
And what's the word on supply? Is it finally coming through? Are those guys all? He was in hospital or something.
From the phone call Aoyama-san made, sounds like he's still not doing very well. But we've now received a total of 100 of the boxes that we ordered, and still waiting for another, I think, 50 of this variety, and then many more of the Mystique series boxes, and the other boxes too.
So supply is still iffy, but so late. They're coming,
Yeah,
but they're late.
they're coming, but they're late.
Yeah. There goes my tip.
Oh no.
See
Is that
that?
what that crack was?
Yeah, that was a crack. That was the tip of the knife gone. Let's get it out of there.
Jed says, what if we designed a game where the prints are all displayed in different areas of a room, standing up, not on the floor? Players have to physically move from print to print. It could be a fun party game, but we'd need to figure out the rules. Something minimal, but fun. An idea.
Okay, good.
Recently we received 2 Ukiyo Heroes prints and Morning Fuji at Lake Yamaguchi from the Moko Hankan store. Jed and David are my gateway drugs into a dangerous hobby.
Feed the man. Feed him. Yeah. Feed him.
Meepy Cheap says...
What's that? What?
Meepy Cheap, that's someone's name. Says, how do you keep the valleys and troughs between such carving, such fine carving clean? Do you use a needle to clear it out, or is there a chance, not using a chisel, that some wood would be left and tamari could happen? While you're sharpening, I guess, it might be answerable. But...
I don't know, because I can't see the wood. I'm not sure what to say. Tamari doesn't happen down in the valleys. I don't know. Not sure what to say.
You need a refill?
Yeah, actually I do. Thank you. Whatever. Ask me again when we're carving. I can't see that.
You could make an Octopus dating card game. Thanks, Jed. Game idea is getting bigger and bigger. So,
it's an interesting handle.
Yeah.
And it's not something we're sort of making up out of nothing.
Right.
Let's think of a scam to do. I mean, it's a legitimate thing. That series we're just holding right now, making woodblock prints into a board game was a thing.
Yeah. They can hide the rules or clues into the images, like we were talking about, like they did with calendars in the past. I'm gonna say, but how do you keep it fresh after they've already memorized the designs? So it's like, you can make an app for iPhone and Android so that the rules change every time you play or something.
But also hiding the rules, etc., in the images, that really, of course, handicaps Jed to a huge degree. It's an easy, cute thing to say, but we still have to make interesting woodblock prints. That's the core of the idea here. So hiding a number or 2 numbers in there, that's easy, because that's what the calendars were. They were hiding the Japanese number 1 or Japanese number 2 or something. Right. But it's not a trivial thing to do, So, and I'm not sure if I want to mess up the images that well. I want to make beautiful woodblock prints.
Right. saying. Unless it's actually a fun game, nobody's going to play it. Nobody will use the game aspect.
Well, this game too, the thing we just mentioned, that game maybe worked fine in the Meiji era when there were no distractions and people were happy sitting around for 3 hours drinking tea and doing it.
Yeah.
But it's not inherently that much of an instant game.
Yeah.
The game, it wasn't the game, it was the conversation and chatting for an afternoon and fooling around. You know?
Yeah.
The game itself, clearly, by our standards, is not very interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go too much overboard on that and oversell it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You know?
Yeah.
So.
How did the old-time carvers do all this work without rotating the wood block? It seems impossible to achieve without destroying your joints in the process, Santa Sorrel says.
It's actually no big deal, you know. The knife carves both ways, and you can cut vertical lines, horizontal lines. This one, this one, this one. You've got 300, and you know, you can't cut it perfect 360 in one stroke.
Right.
But you've got all the angles.
Yeah.
It's no big deal, you know. I can't do it because I didn't practice it. I just basically practiced cutting in this zone here, from this angle up to there, and I rotate the block. But if I had started the traditional way, you got there from here, there you got from whatever, 0 to 90, you've got 0 to 90 this way, you've got 180 to 90, and 90 to 180, you've got all your angles.
Yeah.
The wrist is a pretty flexible thing, and the knife cuts on both sides.
Yeah.
So it can be done. It wasn't such a, I mean, they did it without even thinking about it, just whatever, that was the normal way to do it.
That was the way it was done. Okay.
Johnson is really trying, you know.
Yeah.
He's determined that he's going to, he doesn't say so because he's not an outwardly braggart type of person. But
Right.
my God, inside he wants to be the best ever, you know.
Yeah. But what's the, I guess, the benefit to not turning the block?
There's threefold. There's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 benefits.
Okay.
I know a couple of them seen from outside. I can't do it, so I don't know this. It's not
As part of you.
part of my own guts, you know. But part of it is one, you don't spend all that time turning it. Where was I? Look at it.
Yeah.
Probably if you analyzed the last hour of video that I made here, somebody could, you know, forgetting the talking time, we're talking about the carving time. Somebody could analyze it. What percent of my time is knife in wood, and what percent of the time is knife out, turning the block, finding where I am, getting ready for the next cut. And I'll bet you it's around 50-50 or worse. I'm probably nowhere near half of the actual carving time is knife plowing through wood. I don't know what the number is, but it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another point is, by doing it the way I do, the line where we're going, I can't see where I'm going.
Yeah.
I have no idea where I'm going. I can only react. It's like you're playing a video game where cars coming down the road at you, and you can only see what's 1 foot in front of your car. You can't see 6 car lengths in advance.
Got it.
You can't play that way.
No.
You can't do that, and we can't carve that way. I got to see where that line is coming up. And when you're doing it this way, you can see clearly the line where you're going. Third big advantage is work that's carved without turning the block. The distant strokes are angled. The close strokes are steeper.
Yeah.
And when a block carved that way, you carve it upside down with the registration marks on the other side.
Huh.
And you carve it that way. Then when you print, you turn it around, and for the printer, it's so much more printable because the close by, it's a soft angle on the up, and it's a drop off, and there's no tamari on those lines.
Interesting.
So those are the 1, 2, 3 absolutely big reasons, and any one of those by itself would be enough for doing this. So I'm doing it this wrong way with these 3 huge strikes against me.
Yeah.
And I got there because I'm a bullheaded idiot who just pushes through and it's okay, and because you know there's no competition for me. But it should be done a different way. And if I was 18 years or 16 years or 20 years old again, absolutely that's where I would do it. When Chong-san came a few years ago, he wanted to study with me. I said, get out. Get out. You know, really, we
Do
said,
it
go
the
to
other way,
Roscoe Sensei
yeah.
and do it the other way.
Cool. Vivid KP says another benefit is you avoid scratching the other side every time you turn. Does that make a difference?
I guess so.
Yeah?
Sure. You're not turning and turning and turning and turning and turning. Yeah, absolutely. And there's probably lots of benefits that I don't know about because I don't, like I said, I haven't integrated that thing into my workflow.
It's 9:30.
9:30. My God, look at that. Well, the package didn't arrive, so it's no problem. So we can have a promise. The
Another
package
day.
will be arriving today. Tomorrow there will be a show and tell. Hook size 8 waterfalls, as printed by Adachi in the 1970s. And all I've seen is the small little auction photographs, but they looked pretty good from that. They could be foxed on the backside or something. I have no idea. We'll find out in a few minutes when they arrive.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's stream will be almost certainly a continuation of the carving here. Although again, heads up, there will have to be another sizing stream sometime within the next 3 or 4 days because the printers are getting restless.
Yeah. There's some other ideas too that they've had for the game. So read this later.
And in fact, if you can, do we need to like pop these into a spreadsheet or a memo or something for next year or something?
Yeah, maybe we could do that.
If you see something.
I get the chat too, so in my inbox.
Okay, let's get out of here. I'm going to get ready. Kawai-san's already priming up the party bench. So I've got to get in there to help him. Right. Thanks so much, guys. A bit of a mixed stream today. I got a little bit of work done, like 2 centimeters. So, at this rate, it's never, ever, ever going to be finished.
Yeah.
Ever. Whatever. Can't be helped.
Yep.
Sign us off.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
See you later.